What should all Americans be scared crapless about? I had a patient whose eating habits were so bad I was scared she might get too big for her casket. She always ate fast food, rewarded herself with a sweet treat after every meal, and drank after every minor inconvenience in her life. As you can imagine, she was severely overweight, but her eating habits did more than make her gain weight. She said she was experiencing fatigue even though she never did anything, was always tired in the afternoon and had a bad case of brain fog. It's a shame because if she applied herself, her milkers could compete with Amaranth. Instead, she was always losing concentration and it was affecting her job, and her mood was always bad so she was hurting her relationships with people. She's way too ugly to start ruining relationships. Those must come once in a blue moon for her. Though, the biggest issue was that she was experiencing pain in the upper right side of her abdomen. I recognized the symptoms immediately and concluded that she had a fatty liver. Since 25% of Americans have fatty liver disease, I've been seeing many patients with the same symptoms lately. This happens because the majority of people eat fried and processed foods and drink too much alcohol, even though our bodies can't withstand it. So, those foods will damage your body's vital organs and choke the liver from the fat buildup. Some people don't even know that their liver is slowly dying until it turns into cirrhosis, and at that point it's too late to save them since there is no known cure for it. Unfortunately, the damage had already been done for my patient, so I ran other tests to make sure she actually had a fatty liver. When I saw that she did, I prescribed her medication to reduce the amount of fat in her liver. I also explicitly told her to change her lifestyle to a much healthier one because she might get a little too heavy for the earth to handle. 3 months passed, and I felt the hospital shake, so I knew my patient was back. I noticed that her fatigue disappeared just by the way she carried herself. She didn't look tired or on the verge of falling asleep, and I assumed she also got the motivation to go to the gym because she lost some weight. I even considered her as a potential girlfriend for my son since he is a huge fan of Amaranth. My patient also told me that her brain fog went away, so she was concentrating a lot better at work. She wasn't getting yelled at for forgetting to do something or falling asleep on the job. Not being screamed at every day also improved her mood, and it let her interact more with people. I asked her if she had changed her diet like I suggested, but she said no since she would go balls off the walls insane if she didn't have a sweet treat, but she started drinking in moderation now and she didn't feel like her liver was going to burst. This surprised me because she's not supposed to be drinking at all, and if she did, she would feel a throbbing or stabbing pain that would be unbearable to live with. When I got the result on her liver, I noticed that the weight and fat on it had significantly decreased. I had never seen results like hers before, but I congratulated and told her I was glad the medication had worked exceptionally well. That's when she said something that made my jaw drop. She hadn't taken the medication I prescribed. In reality, she ignored it and said she was taking an everyday liver vitamin every morning instead. I admitted that I had never come across that medication before, and she said all the results I saw from her today were because of the everyday liver vitamin, since the Bergasin and it would remove the harmful things she ate from her body, and reduce the fat buildup in her liver. That left me stumped. It explained why I had never seen this kind of result in a patient with a fatty liver, especially not in 3 months. It actually made me curious enough to try out the everyday liver vitamin for myself. My liver wasn't damaged, but it's always good to do something that will prevent a very common disease. It was also supposed to help to detox the body and cleanse the liver, so it would do more good for me to use the vitamin. That actually explained how my patient was healthy despite still eating junk food from time to time. I took 2 capsules daily in the morning, and just a week later, I woke up at 6 a.m. without any issues. I usually had to snooze my alarm every 5 minutes before I was ready to get up. Not getting proper sleep would make me lose focus at work sometimes, and as a doctor that cannot happen. Especially since I once fell asleep in my clinic's break room, and when I woke up, it turned out my assistants failed to take the cast off with a saw off a kid and ended up cutting his arm instead. But after that week, I just kept waking up energized, and by the time I got to work, my brain was free of any distractions. Everything became clearer to me, as if my brain had cleaned itself of any disturbance. Another 2 weeks passed and I saw that even though I indulged in some junk food and alcohol every once in a while, there was no damage being done to my liver, which meant the everyday liver vitamin was counteracting all the crap that went into my body, and cleansing it so that I could stay healthy. I took it for 12 weeks like it said on the bottle, and my body became stronger and my mind sharper. Honestly, we should all be taking something like this every day, since it helps cleanse the system of the junk food we consume. And it's not like we are going to stop consuming American butter injected mayo sandwiches anytime soon.